Aloha kako, and welcome back to Miss Happy Mess, where sometimes it feels like our lives are falling apart, but it's okay because we're together. We're going to get through it with a smile. And oh man, lately I've been super aware of the fact that when I wake up in the morning, I have all of these things that I need to do just in my brain. Like I literally wake up and before I even hit consciousness, I'm like, I got to pay this. I need to make this call. I got to pick this up. And it's like going before my feet even hit the floor. And I've been kind of thinking about this a lot. So I realized like this list of stuff, it changes from day to day and certainly where I am in my life, but it's always there. And is this part of adulting? Is this adulting? And I want to talk about adulting. So I have brought on the amazing Asia Jackson, who in her 20s made a brand for herself as a content creator and an actress. She approaches fashion and beauty through the intersection of culture and really has such a way of intersecting your identity, your culture, and fashion together. And I mean, I want to talk to you about adulting because I feel like you have been adulting before most adults have been adulting.
We're trying to anyway.
Well, welcome to the show, Asia.
Thank you so much.
I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yay! Well, okay. So like I said, in your 20s, you created this brand and you've been working your booty off and I guess adulting. What is adulting to you?
Honestly, like I turned 32 this year and I'm still trying to figure out what that means.
Amen.
I still don't know what it means. I'm still trying to take it day by day and like I'm still trying to figure out systems. I'm still trying to figure out what works best for me and still trying to figure out strategies. I haven't figured out any of it. I still call my 20s my teen years because that's what it feels like. I was not grown up in my 20s, even though I felt like I knew everything. I didn't know anything.
You know what's so crazy? I feel like every day, like today, I know everything. Yeah. And then tomorrow I realize I didn't know anything yesterday.
Oh, I didn't know anything. Like how the audacity that I had to think that I knew anything.
But you probably did on that day. But then we look back and I'm always like, I know it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you didn't, girl. You did not know. But you knew something because, like I said, you created this brand that you are literally the it girl. You have so many subscribers and followers. You've been on all these major publications, Vogue. It's so incredibly impressive. You've done that in your 20s. And honestly, I think a lot of people look to you as an absolute example and role model and feel like she has got it all figured out. Do you think they're right? Have you got it all figured out?
No, I do not have it all figured out. I think that I was kind of just following what my heart desired. I kind of was just following what I thought my purpose was at the time, and that brought me to all of these incredible opportunities and brought me, all the success that I've had. But I never really had anything figured out. I had I guess like mentors, you could say. Like my manager, I've been with him since I was like 19 years old, and he's guided me in certain directions, but I never really had anything completely 100% figured out. Yeah.
What was the purpose? You said that you had a purpose. What was that purpose?
For me, like one of the biggest, I guess like my biggest purpose that kind of carries on until today is representation. I remember when I started, a career in entertainment, I started creating content. I really wanted to be the representation that I didn't have when I was younger. Being like Black and Asian, we had I had like two role models, and it was Kimora Lee Simmons and Apple the App from Black Eyed Peas.
Yep.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
And I think it's incredible that we have so many, Black Asian entertainers, and even in sports, with the NBA finals, there's two Black and Filipinos in the finals right now. So whoever wins, like, I'm celebrating regardless, period. But
You're
yeah,
represented.
exactly. Yeah. But, when I was growing up, we didn't have all of this. And so I kind of wanted to create a space where people who looked like me could feel heard and feel seen, because I didn't have that when I was growing up.
Yeah. And did you kind of find the audience? And I feel like, at least with this show so far, right, we're a pretty new show, but when we hear back from the people we were hoping to get in touch with, it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a connection both ways. And did that fuel you? Do you feel like that connection was made?
Definitely. Yeah. I think that like throughout the comment sections and like the messages that people send me, it is really fulfilling, I guess, to like receive those comments, because you put in all of this work, and honestly, it was a little isolating to be talking about being Black and Filipino, because at the time there was no one talking about it.
Yeah.
And so I felt, I don't know, it just felt really isolating, creating that space that didn't exist before. But to see people send me messages and to, read comments, there are people who have reached out to me, and they said, I'm an Asian mom with a Black and Asian daughter, and I tell her to watch your videos because it's not something that I personally had an experience with. And I just want her to see someone who is talking about their authentic experience. And it's really fulfilling to receive those comments and know that like all the hard work that I put into it is being well received.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
And you're right, there's not a lot of representation. I think we've come a long way, but there's still a long way to go for Black Asian representation. And it's a big kind of weight to carry, right? How did that feel for you? I mean, because honestly, in your 20s, you sort of grew up on social media, like in front of the public. How do you feel like the public saw you versus how you saw yourself?
I think that the public saw me as having all the answers and having everything figured out, when in reality, I was still trying to understand who I was.
Yeah.
Not only in the context of like understanding identity and race, but just understanding who I was as a person.
Yeah.
It was really difficult, especially when you're growing up in front of a camera that like thousands, millions of people are watching. So that's kind of why when there's like a lot of controversy surrounding like younger influencers or just like younger people that are like growing up on the internet, I tend to have a lot of grace for them, and I have a lot of empathy, because they have a much bigger audience than I did when I was growing up, and everyone in their 20s makes mistakes, and everyone kind of fucks up.
Everybody in their 30s and 40s and 50s and so on and so forth makes mistakes.
Yeah.
But it is unforgiving, right? When you
Yeah.
make a mistake, record it, and then put it out. And
Yeah.
also in your 20s, your frontal lobe is not fused. So maybe
Exactly.
like it's tough.
Yeah. Like even, when I'm thinking about when I was in high school, I graduated high school in 2012, social media wasn't that big of a thing yet. And so, when I fucked up in my school, there was maybe, like my classmates talking about it. But when you're messing up on the internet, you have like thousands and millions of strangers that are just ridiculing you. And I know what it feels like to be ridiculed by people that you know and people that you go to school with. I can't imagine what it's like to be that young and experience that from like millions of strangers.
And it feels like when people are behind a keyboard and they're faceless, their comments have more vitriol and they seem meaner. because it feels like sometimes when I read comments on IG, it's not even my post or whatever. I'm like, wow, this is like low down and dirty.
Yeah.
Because there's almost like this separation of humanity that one person is actually talking to another person. And that must be, I mean, that's hard at any age, but growing up and knowing that like a comment might come through, how do you deal with that?
There was a pretty long period of my 20s where I just didn't look at my YouTube comments.
Wow.
Anytime something goes viral, anything like reaches outside of my own audience, I kind of mentally prepare myself to get comments like those. And so when something becomes super viral, I just like don't even look at the comments. There becomes a point where I just don't look at it, because I know that if I go in there, despite all of these really great comments, I'm going to find the one that just hurts my feelings, and I'm going to feel awful for the rest of the day. So yeah, there was like a 6 to 8 month period in like my mid-20s where some video went viral and I just couldn't handle it. And I was like, I'm going to delete the app off of my phone, because usually what I did was throughout the day, I would like go on the YouTube app and like read my comments. But I was like, I need to delete this because it's not productive.
It's not serving you.
Yeah.
Whew. And then how do you, I mean, there's a whole mental health component, right?
Mhm.
Like, how does mental health come into play when your phone, I mean, I'm so happy you deleted the app. I mean, talk about adulting and taking care of yourself and bringing in boundaries and saying like, well, I'm deleting this off of my phone to protect yourself. Yeah, how do you care for yourself when you're viral? Do you know what I mean? Maintain your humanity.
Yeah, I've had so many conversations with different therapists over the years about this. And I think one of the best pieces of advice that I received from a therapist was to intentionally carve out a self-care day every single week where you don't work. So it could be over the weekend. It could be, depending on your personal schedule. I chose mine to be Friday. So I made sure that my videos went up on Thursday so that on Friday I couldn't look at anything. I didn't check my emails. I focused only on myself. And that when I was practicing that, it was really, really helpful when I needed it the most. And I would recommend it to anyone. It doesn't even have to be a day, but just like intentionally carving out time, whenever that is, to just really focus on yourself and doing the things that you enjoy.
That's amazing advice, because I feel like that's not just for content creators or, you know what I mean? That could be for moms. That could be for anybody who has a life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who gets out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like we purposely carve out time for ourselves. And since our computers literally fit in our pockets, we're always accessible. So during that time, did you turn off your phone or did you leave it on because you might want to talk to somebody in your free time? Was that part of it, or was an electronic ban part of it, or was that not really?
There were certain periods where I would try that. So there was a period during the pandemic actually where I banned phone usage until noon.
Okay.
And that actually really helped me a lot mentally.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. But when I was doing it, it was really, really, really helpful. I felt a lot more clear-headed.
Yeah.
I had a lot less anxiety because I wasn't always focusing on checking my email and focusing on what people needed from me at any given moment. I was kind of just doing my thing. And I said, you know what? Everyone can wait until 12 p.m.
That's great. That's great. I mean, I always told myself, like, when you roll over in the morning, do not check your phone.
Yeah.
And I roll over this morning and I checked my phone.
As we all do, yes.
Right? I mean, at first I'm like, well, I got to see what time it is because I don't have a clock by my phone, my bed anymore, right? But then I'm on my phone and it's like, there are certain things that have seeped in, like you said, like you were doing it, but you're not doing it. What made you kind of come off of it was it COVID or coming back to regular life?
Like what made me stop
Yeah.
the ban?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think COVID was a really good time to do that because not a lot was going on in terms of like content creation and brand deals and things like that. So it was a lot easier to do that. I think once the world started going back to normal,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, people need to reach me earlier than 12 p.m. So I suppose I will start checking my phone earlier.
Well, so what drove you when you were younger? Like, what motivated you to even get started? I know you said you were in high school and stuff. What was that drive?
It's so funny and so unexpected, according to my parents, because I was really shy when I was younger.
Oh, really?
And I did not want to be on camera. But so I taught myself to code when I was 11. My dad was in the Air Force he did a lot of different jobs. He was a flight commander, but mostly he did like computer information systems, IT, software engineering. And so I kind of grew up in a household where that was like, it was easy to teach yourself to do that because he had all the books, we had all the equipment, and it was just easy for me to learn how to do that. And so when I graduated high school and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, which is crazy to think that we need to figure out what to do at 18 years old.
Yes.
But I was like, yeah, like what do I do? And I was thinking, I already have the skill, I already know how to do this, so might as well just spend the rest of my life doing it. So I went to college with the intention of majoring in either computer science or computer information systems. And during that time, I was freelancing web development. So I was like making websites for other people, like
old were you?
freelance. I was like 19, like 18, 19.
Of course you were.
And through that experience, I was like, wow, I don't like doing this for other people. Like
Yeah.
it was a really fun hobby for me to do for myself, but I didn't like doing it for others. And especially like working with companies and things like that, it was just not as fulfilling as it was doing it for myself. I took an elective while I was in college. It was a film production class. And I was like, this is actually kind of fun. I kind of enjoy making things. And one of my classmates asked me to be the lead actress in our final project. And I realized that I really liked being in front of the camera too. So I made a decision to drop out of college.
I'm sure your parents were pleased.
They were so happy for me. My dad, with his like 4 master's degree, was so totally stoked that I dropped out of college.
Yes, great.
Yeah, they were not very happy.
No, I can imagine.
Yeah, because I dropped out to become an actor.
Right.
And
that's not a parent's nightmare.
Right, yeah.
It's what every parent dreams of. They're like, please do that.
Yeah.
Computer science, who needs it?
Who needs that?
Acting, so stable.
Yeah, so I dropped out of college. I started acting and I found some early success. You know, I booked a co-star on Modern Family within like 6 months of getting an agent, which was really exciting.
That's really good, yeah.
It was really exciting. But then I didn't work again for another 2 years.
That's real too.
Yeah. So I was like, I am so tired of waiting for someone to hire me.
Yeah.
I'm going to create my own opportunities. I need to put I had all this built up creative energy that wasn't going anywhere.
Yep.
And I needed to use it somehow. So I figured, you know, I love being behind the camera and I love being in front of the camera. I'm going to start a YouTube channel.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and that's
so
kind
great.
that's kind of how it all started. And yeah, to this day, I'm still on that platform.
That's amazing. Can I tell you? So I'm a little older, so there was not really a YouTube situation, but our stories are similar because I wanted to be an actor, and so I went to school and I studied and everything. And I'm wondering, I'm making an assumption. When you went out for casting, was it tough because you're mixed?
I think for commercials, it was ideal.
Commercials, great.
Yeah.
Yes.
When it came to scripted TV and film, very difficult.
Yeah.
Because if the parents, I always played like teenagers because I don't know, I just really looked young. And so if the parents were already cast, there's no way I'm going to be the daughter of 2 Black parents. Yeah. I also ran into an issue where whenever there was a mixed race character, they're almost always mixed with white.
Mm-hmm.
I found that Hollywood tends to center whiteness even when it comes to mixed people.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I would say like 95% of the auditions that I've auditioned for where they were specifically Black mixed, they were almost always mixed with white.
Yeah.
I think I probably auditioned for like 1 or 2 characters that were Black and Asian specifically.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like hit a roadblock in TV and film specifically because of that. Most of the roles that I have booked were kind of like open ethnicity.
Yes. Yeah.
But when it comes to like a specific mix or a specific race, it was really difficult
Yeah.
in that context.
So maybe like 15 years earlier when I was acting, there was no mix. And so it was really difficult for me. And just like you said, commercials were good. They weren't quite doing like ambiguous ethnicity. Like they weren't quite there yet, but commercials were sort of okay. But TV and film was hard because it was strict categories and being mixed wasn't a thing. So I was very similar to you. Like I had so much creativity inside of me and I was so tired of waiting that I created a theater company and I started writing and I was like, I don't want to just be on tampon commercials and Blockbuster commercials. And so I broke out and started making my own content, but YouTube wasn't a thing yet. So it was theater and writing. And that's how I actually started writing. But it's interesting to kind of hear a similar story, but like a little bit later. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I even talked to my mom recently and she was like, man, if I was your age, I would have like, if YouTube existed when I was your age, like I would have not done what I did with my life.
What did she do with her life?
She became an accountant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, so was your mom somebody who was a personality? Like, did she want to be in front of the camera and stuff?
She was really interested in fashion. I think I got a lot of my sensibilities from her.
Okay.
I was always like the best dressed baby in my daycare and at school because of my mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, she was super interested in fashion and things like that. But, she was born and raised in the Philippines. There aren't as many opportunities there. When she came to the States, it's because she, met my dad and she had to kind of go along with his career because it moved us around the world. So it was kind of difficult for her to build a real career, established career for herself because we were always moving all the time. So yeah, I feel like if the internet existed when she was younger, I think her life would have looked very different.
Because then she could have gone wherever your father was going and still had her base.
Yeah.
And did she imagine she would have done a channel on fashion?
I think that's where her heart has always been at. She's always been super interested in fashion. I think that's what she would have done.
Okay, let's just brainstorm something for your mom because her life is still very much going.
Yes.
Because I'm also a mom and my life is still very much going and I just made a podcast. So for your mom, I'm saying, let's have a little brainstorming session.
Okay.
She can have her own YouTube channel and it's called Mama of It Girl. And she can do her fashions as she's doing right now because there are women her age who are interested in what's going on.
Honestly, that's what I tell her all the time. I was like, there's a lot of women in their 60s, because she's in her 60s now, that are still interested in fashion. And
we're still wearing clothes.
Yeah, like
we're not naked.
They're still out there shopping. They definitely are.
100%.
And so I was like, you should still do it. She has her own Instagram. Her handle is Streetwear Mom.
Oh, nice. I like it.
It's super cute. But I was like,
I'm gonna follow Streetwear Mom. Solidarity for the Streetwear Moms.
I was like, girl, you need to get on it. Like this is such like a underserved niche that
100%.
I think, I think it would do really well.
I think she would do really, really well.
Yeah.
I hope she does Mama of It Girl.
that one's also really cute.
Or she could be OG It Girl.
Exactly. Because
right?
She was the original. She was the OG. There would be no me without her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yay. Mom representation. Well, speaking of your mom and milestones and traditions and everything, we're talking about sort of adulting, right? And I feel like adulting, I don't know, it's such a buzzword, right? And it was created, I didn't even know what it was until it was created, I don't know, a decade, 2 ago. But there is something to be said about this idea that you are a child, a young adult, and then you have to sort of transition
Mhm.
into this adulthood. And there's this traditional life of like, you're going to have a stable job and you're going to find a nice partner and you're going to get married and buy a house and then you're going to have kids. And I'm wondering, for your point of view, are these milestones still existing? Are they shifting?
I think that they're going 2 steps forward and 2 steps back in a way.
Tell me more.
I think that with the existence of the internet, I think we're being exposed to more different types of lifestyles. We're being shown that there is a way that you can live a fulfilling life without being married and having kids and having the house and the white picket fence and things like that. But at the same time, I do think that people are craving some sort of tradition, whatever that may be. And I don't know where the middle ground is for everyone. I think maybe people just find out what they want and then they go and do it.
Yeah.
I don't think there needs to be a standard for everyone. Everyone is so different. There's no way that we could all just conform to one idea of reality or lifestyle and just be there forever.
Yeah. That seems like that's where problems begin.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like when everybody feels pressured to conform to one thing, problems.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like shame that comes with that also. I mean, I'm 32 years old and I'm thinking back like when my mom was my age, she had 2 kids already and I can't even imagine having a child right now. Like that's crazy.
Fair.
And yeah, but that was just, she was telling me like that's just what you did.
Yeah.
During my era. That is something that you were expected to do and you just did it.
And there did seem to feel like a little bit of pressure. I'm really impressed because I know so many women who are getting pregnant at 40.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was younger, I didn't know that was biologically possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like they kind of made it seem, society sort of made it seem like if you don't have kids by the time you're 30 something, you're geriatric and have a geriatric pregnancy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the name of that is crazy.
Right? And then everything shrivels up and dies.
Yeah.
So like do it now or that's it. So I just feel like the possibility to wait longer, to
Mm-hmm.
not feel the pressure to do it in your 20s or your early 30s or whatever is kind of amazing.
Yeah, because it also gives moms like a sense of autonomy. Like you can do whatever you want and whenever you're ready, if you're ready, then you can do it.
Yeah.
But like there's no timeline where this needs to happen. I mean, my sister-in-law, my brother is 8 years older than me. They had a child when they were 38. And like, back in my mom's times, that's like unheard of.
Yeah.
But that's something that she wanted to do. She's a psychiatrist. She went to school. She gained experience. And now she's having a child because that's what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have more time to grow and be an adult and figure out who you are,
Mhm.
having more time with your partner so you can have fun without having kids.
Yeah.
Because kids are alive.
Yeah. Like I can't imagine, being so young, being in your 20s and not really figuring out who you are yet and then having a child, because I feel like all your energy goes to, raising and loving that child. And
Yeah.
where's the energy to raise and love yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did it in my 20s. That's
Yeah.
I was a child too.
Yeah.
So what do you value right now? What is important to you in your life? What is it career, relationships, being with yourself, finding a walkable city?
Yeah, I think, when I was younger and I was starting my career in entertainment, I was really enthralled with the idea of fame and the idea that being seen by millions of people would bring adoration and I would finally be, heard and seen and loved, when my childhood was the exact opposite because of who I was and how I, who my parents are, like what I looked like. And I think now in my 30s, I've kind of just realized that fame is not all that it's cracked up to be. I've experienced, certain spurts of it, not full blown like A-list celebrity, but I've experienced certain aspects of it. And I'm like, I actually don't think I really want this as much as I thought I did. I think that I think I've come to a point in my life where I'm realizing it's okay to take things slow and to just make an honest living doing this, and, not needing to be famous and not needing to be everywhere, and actually spending time alone with yourself and with your family and the people that you care about. I was reading one of my old journal entries recently from, I think it was like 2017. So I had to have been like 23. And I wrote in my journal, I was like, I want to be so successful that I'm doing something every single day. And I was like, why would I write that? Like, why would I want to be doing something every day? That's crazy. So like, I'm at a point where I'm like, no, I don't want to be doing this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just in a totally different headspace than when I was younger, because I realized like, I don't want the fame. I don't want like the ultra busyness, and yeah.
Yeah. Cut to my 48-year-old journal, and I'm like, I need a day where I'm doing nothing.
Yeah. I think we all need a day where we're doing nothing. I think, honestly, if we could, if the entire world could be on the same schedule and just do nothing for a day and just do things that they enjoy,
Yeah.
I think that one day would have, massive improvements in society.
I agree.
Personally.
I remember when I was young, I used to go to Paris because my dad was from Paris. And back then, they would literally shut things down on Sunday. Like, it was a social contract. There was nothing going on. It was quiet. I mean, and people would just get together and they would walk, and you would need to go to the bakery early to get whatever you needed. But there was a social contract back in the day where things closed on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not like that anymore. Everything is a 24/7 going. There's a constant grind. There's always something open.
Yeah. Yeah. I even experienced that in Tokyo. I go to Tokyo a lot because my boyfriend does a lot of work in Tokyo, and a lot of things are closed on Sunday. Like, you literally can't do anything on Sunday except just hang out with people, hang out with your family. A lot of things close super early. They close at like 5.
Mm-hmm.
And my boyfriend's also Italian. He's from Milan, and sometimes I visit him in Milan, and it's the same thing. Like, things are closed on Sundays. And it's just so different being an American, where we're expected to be on call all the time for our employers and for other people. I don't think that Americans get enough rest. I don't think that we care about ourselves or love ourselves enough to truly be with ourselves for one day.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. It's a rat race.
Mm-hmm.
It's exhausting.
It is so exhausting.
And for who?
Yeah.
And for why?
And for why?
And at what point are we like, could I please get off this ride?
Yeah.
This rat race? I'd like to be a human. I want to stop racing to something I don't even see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are we racing for?
Yeah. And I think also when you're a creative person or when you're like a brand, it's so hard to separate the work you from the personal you, because they're so tied together.
Yeah.
Because I'm sharing myself on the internet. It's my job. But who am I outside of content? You know what I mean? That was something that I also struggled with when I was younger. And I'm still honestly struggling with it now. But it's so hard to separate work from personal when they're so deeply woven together.
And it feels like self-worth can sort of be completely entangled. Is that even a word? Twined.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, if you're taking a break or stepping back, are you feeling like your self-worth is now stepping back and you're abandoning yourself, even though you're probably intuitively serving yourself on a greater
definitely
level?
Yeah. And I think like a lot of burnout occurs with creatives and maybe like freelance professionals, because even when you think you're resting, your mind is still thinking about work.
Yeah.
So you're not actually resting at all. Like, your body is resting, but your mind and body are not connected. And so there is like a certain burnout. It's like, oh, I'm not doing anything and I haven't done anything for like a week, but why do I still feel exhausted?
Yeah.
Because you're still thinking about it.
I ask myself all the time, why am I still tired?
Yeah.
I've binged watched an entire season of Netflix. Like, why am I still tired?
Exactly.
Have you found a way that you rest that is truly regenerative?
I think I've tried days where I do nothing and I kind of just rot in bed all day, but I find that doesn't really help anything.
Same.
Because I'm still like, I feel guilty about it because I'm like, wow, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
But those days where like I get up and I walk to a coffee shop and I take my time doing things and I get home and I'm like, I want to play a video game for 2 hours today. So I play my video game and then I'm like, actually, I want to draw in my coloring book or something. Like I want to do things like just by vibes.
Yeah.
I find that is a lot more regenerative than just rotting in bed and doing nothing because I'm actively engaging my mind and I'm not thinking about all the things that I should be doing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of giving your brain a rest.
Yeah.
Because you're actually just getting to be like playfully creative with no purpose.
Yeah.
Creativity with no purpose is truly a gift.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so underrated.
Yeah.
Like it feels like all creativity needs to have an end game.
Or it needs to be monetized.
And that is the killer of creativity, I think. I mean, clearly we're here on the podcast, which is a monetized situation.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's creativity that you just need to do for yourself.
Definitely.
As well.
Yeah.
And that's not just true for creators. I think that's true for everyone, right?
I truly believe that everyone is creative in some sort of way.
Absolutely.
I think that, well, at least in my experience, for some reason when I was growing up, I thought being an artistic person or a creative person meant that you could like draw or make a painting or make music or something. But it never occurred to me that you can be creative with a computer. Like when I was building websites, it's a technical skill, but that was a creative thing that I was doing. I was creating something from scratch. And so I think it's a myth that, to be a creative person, you have to be like the media matters. I think that you can be a creative in so many different ways. And I truly believe everyone is a creative person.
I really do too. I cannot draw. I cannot play an instrument. I actually don't get pleasure from trying. I don't think either my neighbors also don't want me to play an instrument. But I mean, I see how people with fashion put things together. That is creative. How people arrange space.
Yeah.
I'm so in awe of people who have great spatial awareness with colors and just making intimate spaces in their homes and everything. People's eye is so different than my own. When people look at something, they're like, if we just move this over there, I'm just so in awe of that. And that's creativity.
Yeah, for sure. Like I watch a lot of like interior design videos and I'm like, I love how your brain works because mine does not work like that.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
100%. And I'm creative and you're creative.
Yeah.
But that's just different creative.
So different. And I just really love and respect other people's visions. I think it's great.
So maybe adulting isn't so much about I don't know, all this crap that we're talking about and doing the tasks. Maybe it's just about showing up is who we are in this ever-changing moment. And that's where we meet this kind of adult moment, just to be, I don't know, available, honest. What do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe the purpose in life isn't to have an end game. I think that's always what people are thinking about or talking about when they think about growing up. But I think no one really truly grows up. I mean, even talking to my mom, she doesn't feel grown up. She's like, I'm still trying to figure out what life is and still trying to figure out what everything is. When it's so funny because when I was younger, I looked at my parents as these perfect figures who had everything figured out. But when you actually talk to them, when you become older, you're like, oh, they were just as clueless as I am right now.
Yes.
And I think, it built a lot of empathy within me for my parents. And
I hope it builds empathy for yourself.
It also,
right?
Yeah.
Because I think when we can look at our parents and accept them for all that they are, like all the good and all the bad and all the blemishes and the things that we couldn't understand about them when we were young.
Mm-hmm.
And we can then be like, I see you, I empathize for you. I think it immediately starts giving us grace
Yeah.
as we move forward as adults to be like, I'm going to mess this up, because that's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how a true life is led, with a bunch of mistakes.
Oh, I totally agree. Yeah. My mom even talks about reaching her mom's age in her 60s and being like, I totally understand why she was the way that she was now, because I'm going through it now. And yeah, just gave my parents like a new sort of humanity in my mind. And I think I became a lot more of a forgiving person, because now I have a greater understanding of making mistakes. People just make mistakes, and sometimes it's not intentional, sometimes it's not malicious, sometimes they just make mistakes.
Yeah.
And like, that's okay,
Yeah.
because I'm also doing the same thing. So yeah, I think no one really truly grows up. I don't think there's a point that anyone reaches to and says, all right, that's it, I have
I'm
lived a
grown.
life. Yeah, that's done. Yeah, I think you're always going to be adulting.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's a sticker. I will always be adulting.
always.
Always. I want to meet your mom.
Oh my God, please do.
I would love
I
to
think
meet
she
her.
would. Yeah, she would love to meet you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was so fun talking with you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
I could talk to you for so long about
Same.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. This is the end of the podcast. It's the beginning of the conversation. And I want to thank Asia Jackson again for stopping by. It was such an enlightening conversation. Embrace the chaos, guys. Remember to breathe and be kind to yourself, because we're being kind to ourselves. So bye. Thank you. Thank you. This episode was produced by Jill Dickerson, Kimberly Rose Kayolani Wolter, and Christian Fenene Schmidt. Technical producer, Daniel Asmalash. Social media manager, Benjamin Pola. Promotional consideration was provided by the Park Shore Waikiki Hotel. We want to thank our friends and family for all your support. Mahalo for listening. Ahui ho!
The finest moments of them all were right before our fall.